Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to this Sunday edition of the Cricket Happenings with your host Ram. Well, in this Cricket Happenings show, I'm going to look at two matches. One is the Ashes Test match now, where England are really fighting well, I would say, even though they are chasing 530 to win. They have reached 247 for 6 at close on the fourth day, and definitely England will be hoping that there is a forecast of a storm today at Adelaide, and they would be hoping that that storm comes in and really prevents Australia from winning, and Australia would be hoping that the rain stays away and Australia go on to take a 2-0 series lead in this Ashes Test series. I'll come back to that later to recount what happened on the fourth day's play in that Ashes Test match at the Adelaide Oval, and then we will look at today's match where South Africa once again dominating this one-day series. Not only dominating, they have already taken the one-day series 2-0 right now in this three-match series, with once again the Indian batsmen finding the pace and bounce too much to handle, with some excellent excellent South African bowling at Durban, and also very good catching by the South African fielders that enabled them to actually bowl out India for 146 after making a decent total of 280 on a very good pitch here at Durban. Well, so let's turn the table now, and let's go to the Ashes Test and look at what happened yesterday in the Ashes Test match between England and Australia. And Australia, as I said, Michael Clarke, the captain, was surprised one and all by declaring the innings closed. Probably he was having the forecast of weather in mind, because I was under the impression that probably David Warner, who was an 83, would have gone on to a century if at all Michael Clarke would have batted those 30 minutes, because David Warner is such a player who tries to play strokes, and one would have probably thought that David Warner would have got to a century. But now I really feel that I thought Michael Clarke would have definitely taken the weather into consideration, especially considering the fact that we are having a storm which has been forecast at the Adelaide Oval, and England are requiring 284 runs with 4 wickets. For Australia, they would be hoping that they could complete it before the storm comes in. So what Michael Clarke did is actually declared at the overnight score of 132 for 3, thus setting England a target of 531 runs to win the match in 2 full days. And this is what happened yesterday on the fourth day of the Ashes Test at the Adelaide Oval. Alistair Cook was the first to go. Alistair Cook, the third ball of the England innings. He normally is a good hooker, but one would have not expected Alistair Cook to hook the third ball from Mitchell Johnson, and he hooked it. He top edged the ball. Harris took a very good catch at fine leg. He flung himself and took the catch just inches above the ground. So Cook was gone. That was the first wicket. That was a dismissal that Cook would be definitely ruining, especially considering the fact that you are chasing 530 for victory. England are absolutely in the dumps, and I thought that was not a good shot at all. He could have probably allowed that ball to go harmlessly by, but instead Alistair Cook tried to actually hook that ball, and he perished. So that was the first wicket to go. So that was wicket number 1. Cook gone, and the score at 1 for 1. Michael Carberry was joined in by Joe Root, and Michael Carberry, well, he hit some 2 good boundaries, but after that, in fact, that was a very good shot that Michael Carberry played to the bowling of Siddle off his hips, and well, Michael Carberry was snapped up. There was another wonderful catch taken by Nathan Lyon at the fence, as he took a wonderful catch to see the back of Michael Carberry. Caught Lyon, bowled Siddle for 14 with 2 fours. The England scored 20 for 2. After that, Kevin Pietersen came in with Joe Root. Joe Root was absolutely dull defense from him. He was really defending well, and Kevin Pietersen came in, and immediately Michael Clarke, what he did, he got the field, a field where Pietersen normally likes to play stroke, so he actually blocked that path by bringing a short mid-wicket, got a mid-wicket there, a short mid-wicket. In fact, he hemmed him with that fielders on the down side, and told his bowlers to actually feed Pietersen on the leg side. But Pietersen was absolutely equal to the task. He didn't take the bait. He really was pretty careful in that. He left a ball. He left some balls outside the leg stump, and Pietersen was very careful while playing his strokes. He was trying to play straight instead of trying to flick it. We didn't see a lot of flick strokes coming in. So Peterson equally, I wouldn't say he accepted the challenge, but he quelled the challenge that was posed by the Australian captain Michael Clarke. So this partnership from Joe Root and Kevin Peterson started pushing things for England, with Joe Root also growing in confidence in the company of Peterson and hitting some good strokes. He was pretty well down the ground. He played some very good strokes, and the partnership went on to 131 before Kevin Peterson was a victim, as Peter Siddle got a ball that actually Peterson actually played on, actually inside that from his bat. It was a very sort of a limp stroke from Peterson, and the ball actually nipped in a bit and went on to hit the stump. So Kevin Peterson's gone, bowled Siddle for 53 with 2 fours, and he also hit 3 sixes. He went after the spinners. He deposited Nathan Lyon into the stands for sixes, and he got 3 sixes in all. And he also deposited, I think Stephen Smith was the one who came in for severe tap from Peterson, who Peterson hit him for I think 2 sixes and one of the bowling of Nathan Lyon. After that, Ian Bell came in and joined Joe Root. Joe Root was, as I said, was looking pretty solid at the crease, and Ian Bell, well, it was another stroke after Alistair Cook's dismissal. I thought Ian Bell's stroke was also not a good stroke, because considering that he's such an experienced campaigner, Ian Bell, what he did is he got a full toss from Steve Smith, and he tried to ram it, and he rammed it into Johnson, who took the catch, and he was gone for 6. So that suddenly the score from 131 for 3 became 143 for 4. And then Joe Root, after doing all the hard work, playing very well, got a ball from Nathan Lyon, which he actually edged on to behind the stumps to Brad Haddon for 87 with 9 boundaries. And then Ben Stokes came in. Ben Stokes, well, he hit some boundaries. He resisted. He had a sort of needle with Mitchell Johnson, but then Ben Stokes was claimed by Harris, as Harris had his wicket, as Ben Stokes was caught by Clarke of the bowling of Harris for 28 with 5 boundaries, and that led the score at 210 for 6. And suddenly it looked probably England would try to wrap it, Australia would try to wrap it up, but Matt Pryor, who was absolutely out of form, in fact, I thought he came into form at the pretty right time there by contributing an unbeaten 31 towards the close of play. Giving him company was Stuart Broad, also playing well, not out on 22 with 3 boundaries, 5 boundaries for Matt Pryor, and this partnership had added a very good 37 runs for the 7th wicket. And as I said, now all the hopes are resting on Matt Pryor and Stuart Broad, but I thought it is too onerous a task for them to get 284 runs with only the tail still to come. And well, we also saw that there was a lot of words spoken between Mitchell Johnson and Stuart Broad. I mean, as you know, there was absolutely a lot of words, even after they were trudging off the pitch or trudging off the ground at the end of the 4th day. There were a lot of words being exchanged. Sometimes the umpire had to come and intervene. That was when Ben Stokes and Mitchell Johnson were going at each other. And then finally, Matt Pryor, I thought he has played himself into some form there with an unbeaten 31, absolutely to the team's cause at the right time. Stuart Broad not out on 22. England, these 2 England batsmen, seeing England off towards the close at 247 for 6 at close of play on the 4th day, with 284 runs still required, with 4 wickets in hand for England. And as I said, the forecast is not good. There is a storm which is forecast, and Australia would be hoping to wrap it up as quickly as possible. For England, their main goal would be to block as many balls as possible before the storm comes, so that they can keep them at bay. And are we going to see an escape which was done by West Indies at the University Oval in Dunedin against New Zealand? That is what the question is. Let's look at the bowling figures. Ryan Harris, 17 overs, 3 minutes, 1 for 45, bowled well. Mitchell Johnson, as good as ever, 21 overs, 8 minutes, 1 for 53. Still absolutely sharp with his bowling yesterday. 13 overs, 4 minutes, 2 for 21. Once again getting the wicket of Kevin Peterson, whose scalp he has been enjoying for quite some time now. And then Nathan Lyon, 26 overs, 7 minutes, 1 for 78. Watson, 6 overs, 3 minutes, 1 for 6. Stephen Smith coming in for some tap, but picking up the wicket of Ian Bell with a very innocuous delivery. 7 overs, no minute, 143. So that's the match situation. and it is, but as I said, the rain gods have to relent. And are we going to see a repeat of what happened between West Indies and New Zealand at the University Oval in Dunedin? Well, let's leave from here and look at the one-day series where South Africa have wrapped up the one-day series. In fact, they set the tone, the opener set the tone, even though India won the toss on this particular pitch played at the Kingsmead in Durban. One thought it was a green top, probably I thought it was a green mamba, but unfortunately that was not. The pitch was good to bat on, and for South Africa, they set the tone early on, even though India won the toss and decided to insert the South Africans, especially considering the fact that it was overcast conditions. But I thought the South African openers played in a wonderful way. Not only that, they set the tone for this complete innings of 280 for 6 by putting up a very, very solid foundation of 194 runs for the first wicket, with Quinton once again getting to a century with some brilliant stroke making, as he went on to score 106 of 118 balls with 9 fours in the company of Hashim Amla, this time also going on to a century of 117 balls with 8 fours. It was neatly done by Quinton and Hashim Amla, who put on such a solid foundation that they raised 194 for the first wicket in just 35.1 overs. And also, let me tell you, today India had 3 changes in the team. There was no Yuvraj Singh. His place was taken by Ajinkya Rahane. The bowlers that were left up were Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Mohit Sharma, and in came Ishant Sharma and Umesh Yadav. But that didn't really make a difference, as South Africa, who got a very good solid partnership, as I said, 194 for the first wicket. One would have expected South Africa to go on to a total of probably in excess of 300, probably the way that they did in the first one-day international. But I thought the Indian bowlers really did a commendable job there. From 194 for 1 at one stage, South Africa were restricted from no loss. They were restricted to 280 for the loss of 6 wickets, with de Villiers making only 3. So at that time, one would have to commend the Indian bowlers, especially Mohammad Shami, who has been looking pretty impressive. 8 overs, no maiden, 48 runs on 3 wickets. 6 overs for 45 for Umesh Yadav was very costly. Ishant Sharma, I thought he bowled well, 7 overs, none for 38. The Indian spinners did a wonderful job today. 9 overs, no maiden, 1 for 48 for Ashwin. Ravindra Jadeja, 10 overs, 149. 6 overs of Suresh Raina spin for 32 runs. 3 overs from Virat Kohli for 17. And as I said, the Indian bowlers did a commendable job after the opener. The first wicket was gone. It was Quinton was the first wicket. But after that, the South African batsmen really couldn't capitalize, as the Indian bowlers, especially Mohammad Shami and the spinners, did a wonderful job to restrict them to 280 all out. De Villiers made 3. Dumini was, fortunately for India, he was run out by a Yadav Dhoni combination for 26 of 29 balls with 2 fours. David Miller was out for a blob bowled by Shami. Callis was castled by Mohammad Shami for 10 of 13 balls. Ryan McLaren and Vernon Philander towards the end, in fact, they had taken 20 runs of the final over, which was bowled by Umesh Yadav, got the score on to 280, with McLaren not out 12 of 5 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. Vernon Philander was not out on 14 of 5 balls with 3 boundaries hit in that. And South Africa, from a very good position at 194 for no loss, it was a pretty good effort by the Indian bowlers to restrict South Africa to 280. But even though India and the Indian bowlers did their bit, the Indian batsmen once again let down. They were absolutely rattled by the pace and bounce that was generated by the South African bowlers. It was good pitch to bat on, according to me, but the conditions were definitely overcast. But the Indian, as I said, was backed up by some brilliant bowling from the South African bowlers, and also a brilliant catching by the South African fielders, which really had India all out for 146. The first to go was Shikhar Dhawan, who actually tried to flay a ball through the offside, Dumini taking the catch of the bowling of Steen for a duck, so that made it 10 for 1. Virat Kohli trying to open the face of the bat and trying to glide the ball through the slip squad, and Quinton coming in and picking up the catch. He was gone for a duck. After that, it was Rohit Sharma's turn to go, who was really taken aback. In fact, that was a very good shot. As I said, the South African fielding was absolutely on the mark, because Rohit Sharma tried to actually pull a ball that was not so short from Satsobe, and Amla took a real stunner there, because it was tremendous force, and if you're standing in short mid-wicket, it's not easy to anticipate things, and Amla took a wonderful catch there. So Rohit Sharma was gone 19 of 26 balls with 2 fours. It made it 29 for 3. Ajinkya Rahane getting his first game here, probably a bit undone, I would say. He was not happy with the decision, but he was given caught the cock, bowled by Monet Markle for 8, and that reduced India to 34 for 4. After that, Dhoni and Raina combined, and they really were really controlling themselves. They were not playing any strokes. They were only content with ones and twos, and they were really blocking the deliveries, just playing around. But then finally this partnership did something of note of 40 runs, but that was not enough. After that, Vernon Philander came in and picked up Dhoni, and what a catch from Quinton de Kock, the keeper. A right-handed catch by diving full length and taking that catch one-handed, and Dhoni was walking. Caught de Kock bowled Philander for 19 of 31 balls with no boundaries and no sixes. The score became 74 for 5 in the 20th over, and when Dhoni went, one would have probably, I'm sure all the Indian fans would have thought it's all over. And yes, definitely that was the case, because once Dhoni went, there was absolutely nothing over there. With Suresh Raina, the highest scorer with 36, gone. Caught Miller bowled Markle 36 of 50 balls with 3 fours. So that was wicket number 6. That became 95 for 6. Ravichandran Ashwin, making 15 runs of 26 balls with 1 4, was gone. And then Ravindra Jadeja trying to hoik Satsobe with the sense of urgency, trying to bring in some sense of urgency, perished as he got caught brilliantly by de Villiers. Now de Villiers, as you know, the captain, is a very short guy, but at the fence he dived full length to take that catch, and Ravindra Jadeja would have been surprised, but he had to go. As I said, the South African catching today was absolutely superb. Ravindra Jadeja was gone for 26 of 34 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. Score was 145 for 8. And after that, India's innings wound up for 146 as Satsobe came in and first clean. In fact, Umesh Yadav was clean bowled by Steen for 1, and Satsobe cleaned up Mohammad Shami to bring an end to the Indian innings at 146. So that was it, 146 all out. Let's look at the bowling figures. Splendid bowling. Dale Steyn once again showing what a tough customer he is in international cricket. 7 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 17. Satsobe, the other day we saw Satsobe was all over the place, but today Satsobe was a disciplined bowling effort from him, which had the Indian batsmen really searching. 7.1 overs, no maiden, 25 runs and 4 wickets. Monet Markle 6 overs, 234. Vernon Philander getting his game, bowled well, 6 overs, 1 for 20, taking the very important wicket of Mahendra Singh Dhoni with a brilliant catch taken by de Kock, the wicket keeper. Dumini 5 overs for 20, and Ryan McLaren 4 overs, none for 25. Quinton de Kock for the second consecutive time in this one-day series getting the man of the match award, and what a talent Quinton de Kock is turning out to be, as I said. Well, dear fans and subscribers, one thing that I would have to say here, that now the third one-day international is coming, which is going to be a mere formality for South Africa, because South Africa already won the series. The only thing India could do is India could save some face. Whether they do it or not, that remains to be seen. But looking at the way the Indian batsmen are faring with the pace and bounce of the South African pitches, doesn't really look likely, because it's a 3-match series. One has the feeling that probably South Africa will walk away with the third, and this will be a clean sweep of India, because it really doesn't give you the feeling after seeing the Indian batting that India is actually adjusting to the pace and bounce of the South African pitches. Very unfortunate to say that. So India once again continuing to struggle abroad. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this very note, your host Ram would like to end the cricket show, but what I'm going to do is, before I leave, I'm trying to see whether I can give you some cricket update, because there is a match which is going on between Pakistan and Afghanistan. This is a 2020 match, and I can only give you one update before I go, that the Pakistani bowlers have restricted Afghanistan to 137 for 8 in the 20 overs, and Pakistan currently are batting. They are 5 for no loss after we are in the second over right now of Pakistan. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that's it from me, your host Ram, for the cricket show for today. See you all tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye on the Sunday.